Americans spent $2 billion last year on raised garden beds. Most of these beds, however, will be rotting, depleted, and needing complete replacement within 6 years. This isn't just a gardening inconvenience, it's the outcome of a business model. There exists a method that costs nothing, utilizes wood you might otherwise discard, and improves year after year for 2 decades, not deteriorating, but growing richer in quality. The chemistry behind it mirrors the processes running in every old-growth forest on Earth. This approach addresses 3 critical areas that typical hugelkultur guides never mention: protecting your investment, choosing the right wood types, and creating a version suitable for seniors or suburban areas where HOAs are a factor. If this system is so efficient, why is it almost always skipped in gardening advice? The answer comes later, but first, let's examine the math that mainstream guides never show. Let's start by quantifying the real cost of raised beds. A standard setup begins with soil, which costs anywhere from $50 to $120, while a basic seeder kit runs around $140. These kits rarely last beyond 6 years before warping or splitting. Over a decade, the total expense for the budget kit reaches $458, translating to $1.43 per square foot per year. Surprisingly, a premium steel option costing $300 up front can actually end up cheaper annually than the cheaper wooden kit. Yet, money isn't the core issue. Raised beds are closed systems. You fill them with soil, grow your crops, and as the organic matter breaks down, the soil level drops. You add more soil. And again, every single year. Forests don't operate this way. They build layers over time, accumulating fertility instead of constantly depleting. Understanding this difference is crucial because the raised bed market hit $2.1 billion in 2024 and continues to expand. Beneath the surface, 3 processes occur when wood is buried, echoing the dynamics of old growth forests. Microorganisms break down the wood, releasing nutrients slowly into the surrounding soil. This gradual decomposition creates a living soil ecosystem that strengthens with each passing season. Unlike raised beds, this method grows richer and more productive without requiring continual replacement. By applying these principles, you can build a sustainable garden in a single weekend using materials you already have. This includes solutions for gophers, guidance on which types of wood to choose, and adaptations that remain HOA friendly. Even gardeners with limited mobility can benefit, as the system can be tailored for comfort and accessibility. The raised bed model locks gardeners into repeated purchases, constant soil replenishment, and gradual loss of investment. Meanwhile, the forest-inspired approach transforms discarded wood into a living, ever-improving system. Every year, the soil quality improves, crops thrive more robustly, and the need for extra inputs diminishes. What cost $2 billion in fleeting raised beds could be achieved for zero while producing better results every year. The math is stark, and once seen, it can't be unseen. Conventional raised bed systems are expensive, not just in money, but in labor, materials, and wasted potent. By 2030, the market is projected to reach $4 billion, fueled by gardeners, repeatedly purchasing soil amendments and replacement kits. A system capable of lasting 20 years without additional inputs would hardly serve commercial interests. Every raised bed begins to deteriorate the moment it's filled. This isn't a flaw in design, it's simply how pre-built garden systems operate. So, what does a garden that grows better each year actually look like? The answer has quietly thrived in German grandmothers' backyards since 1962. That year, a German gardener named Hermann Andra released a small booklet describing practices his grandmother had followed for decades. She never named her method. She would pile brush, branches, and fallen logs into a corner of her property. She never watered it. She never added fertilizer. And yet, year after year, the mound prospered. The most remarkable plants on her land sprang from that observation, forming the foundation for what later became Sepp Holzer's Kremeterhof farm in the Austrian Alps, 11 meters above sea level. There, where winter temperatures plunged to minus 20 Celsius, Holzer employed hugelkultur ridges to cultivate citrus trees on steep mountain slopes. In 2024, a peer-reviewed study published in Communications, Earth, and Environment by Springer Nature examined 9 farms across Germany and Luxembourg. The findings were striking. These sites held 27% more soil carbon, 201% more earthworms, and 60% higher nitrogen levels compared to conventional raised beds. Why does this work so well? Picture fresh wood as a brand new kitchen sponge, still stiff and dense, barely able to absorb anything. Once buried, years of fungal activity hollow out the soft interior, leaving behind a delicate skeleton filled with microscopic channels. That, when a compost pile warms at its center, the same phenomenon unfolds underground. Billions of microbes feast on buried wood, generating steady heat as a natural byproduct. No flames, only gentle warmth. This heat protects your root zone from frost and lengthens your growing season on both ends. The third mechanism, mirrors forest dynamics. When a tree falls, it doesn't merely decompose. Fungi infiltrate, weaving an intricate network through the wood, delivering nutrients to every plant linked to that network. Your mound becomes that fallen tree, and the fungi act as your ongoing fertilizer system. Misconceptions abound, but research from a University of Washington scientist, Axel Adams, clarifies that burying large logs does not deplete nitrogen for your crops. The key lies in spatial separation. Roots inhabit the topsoil above, while decomposition occurs below. They never interfere. You're not constructing a conventional garden bed. You're recreating a forest floor which improves year after year. At this stage, common questions arise. What wood should I use? What about gophers tunneling underneath? What if my HOA prohibits a 5-foot mound? Here's the step-by-step solution. For residents of California, Oregon, Washington, or any Rocky Mountain state, pocket gophers are a real threat. Following the University of California IPM guidelines, lay a 1/2-inch galvanized hardware cloth before placing a single log. Extend it 12 inches beyond the perimeter on all sides, then bend the edges up to form an L-shaped barrier. This takes about 15 minutes and costs roughly $15 to $30. Wood selection is crucial and frequently asked. Avoid black walnut. Its jug-loan content harms tomatoes and other nightshade plants if buried fresh. Fully composted walnut is safe. Cedar heartwood isn't toxic, but it resists fungal activity, slowing decomposition and delaying moisture and nutrient availability. Pressure-treated lumber is completely unsafe. The guiding principle is simple. Use free deciduous hardwood sourced from an arborist. USDA Forest Service research shows red alder, willow, poplar, and cottonwood decompose fastest and feed mound biology most efficiently. If your arborist delivers free wood via programs like Chip Drop, those logs are usually ideal. Don't overcomplicate it. Free, deciduous, and fast decomposing is your best bet. For HOA limited spaces or gardeners with back or knee issues, consider stealth hugelkultur. Build the wood core inside an existing raised bed frame. From outside, it resembles any typical raised bed, but underneath, the same forest-like biology thrives. A 2-year trial documented by the USDA Sustainable Agriculture Program in Binghamton, New York, confirmed that this approach matches full mound performance in drainage and organic matter buildup. For accessibility, keep bed height at 34 inches or less, with root depth no more than 18 inches for wheelchair users and 36 inches for walker users. The construction is straightforward. Begin with the bottom layer of the largest logs and branches, 3 to 6 inches in diameter, filling gaps with smaller sticks and twigs. The middle layer is nitrogen-rich, using grass clippings or green waste, capped with 4 to 6 inches of topsoil. The top 2 to 3 inches act as the rooting zone, covered with straw or leaf mulch. Soak the entire mound thoroughly. Shallow-rooted annuals can be planted immediately. Avoid mixing sawdust or wood chips directly into the topsoil. The excessive surface area accelerates microbial activity, stripping nitrogen before plants can use it. Always maintain spatial separation, wood core below, topsoil above. Water the mound thoroughly in the first year, then put the hose away. The wood functions as your irrigation system, the fungi as your fertilizer program. By the second year, the mound sustains itself. By year 3, your garden will outperform others nearby, prompting neighbors to ask what you're doing differently. The answer is simple. A raised bed is a product with an inherent expiration date, depleting annua. Please leave your thoughts about this content in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.